Distraction is you don't need peace, you only. By Andrew Gawodo. Like so the link to the video with the discipline below. Go and check them out. So let's into distraction in 3, 2, 1.
You don't get peace. You gotta earn it. Little do a lot of
True
people
enough.
know
Yeah.
that requires a lot of work, a lot of mental frameworking,
Yeah.
a lot of self awareness, and you're earning that peace. Something definitely that everyone can achieve. And the problem is that sometimes it's just not easy all the time. Especially when we live in a world where it's just so crazy sometimes, like sometimes chaotic and, trying to keep up to date with the daily life and, how things are sometimes, it's kind of easy just to
Yeah.
feel so overwhelmed by everything. I think keeping peace, especially mentally, the inner peace within ourselves, can be quite challenging nowadays. I've come to
True.
realize that it's very important that you maintain that.
Yeah.
You try to maintain that. You try to protect that. Because once your peace is gone, life can feel very challenging, can feel very
Yeah.
overwhelming. And I don't think anyone wants to live like that in life. To understand and to realize that your peace is disturbed by these things that you see in the world, things that you see outside. For example, the news. I mean, come on. News ain't pretty sometimes, So
Yeah.
I know if you're constantly looking at it, you're constantly looking at the things and stories and on social media, looking at the things, not to say that, things in the world are important, but constant consumption of these content, of these what's going on in the world, it's ideally not healthy for us. And really, we weren't really made to understand and try to know all this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
We live in a world where everything's so connected, and now things are just so. It seems like everything's just falling apart because we know what's going on in the world everywhere. Like at all times, we know what's going on. So sometimes you gotta take a step back, know when to step back and realize, this is not my place right now. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to look at this right now. Because the biggest thing you can do for yourself is not look at these things. So just being aware of that, being aware of what you're consuming. News is just one example. Another one can just be people. People in your life that, don't bring good vibes,
Yeah.
antagonistic against
True.
you and others. You don't want to be around people that just overwhelm you. And when people sometimes it can be challenging. Sometimes there's really only two options to deal with it. You can either deal with the conflict that's causing your peace to be disturbed, or you could just walk away from it. Because a lot of times, some people are just
Yeah.
not worth your energy, not worth the time trying to deal with, and not trying to fix, and trying to, deal with it in your mind, keeping that conscious conflict in there, thinking that you need to own this, you need to fix this, you need to, react to the way that they're talking to you. And you don't want that. That's causing you to feel so not good, peace being disturbed. Those are just examples of being self aware of it. One other thing, too, is just your mental framework, your how you view things and how you see things and how you think of it. I'm gonna give it one example that I've been maintaining and doing a lot. Whenever I'm very tired and very just
Yeah.
not feeling the best sometimes, say I'm going throughout the day doing a task, doing my job, working, and I have so much in my mind, so much going on. Sometimes it's so easy to feel overwhelmed by all my thoughts. Feel like my whole world is just kind of breaking down. Whenever I catch myself in this state, feeling so overwhelmed and being so rushed with thoughts and the mania reaction that I need to feel for these and do it with these thoughts, I acknowledge it. When there's a problem in my head and there's something that I know that it's going on, something that I'm thinking about, something that comes up, I simply tell myself, okay, I acknowledge this, but right now it's not the time. It's not the time to work this out in your brain, not the time to work this out because you're probably tired. The state that you're in, this time that you're in right now, is not appropriate to
True.
run these thoughts in. And that's something that's been very powerful for me to maintain my presence, to maintain my calmness and peace within myself throughout the day.
Yeah.
If you're always overwhelmed by your thoughts and you kind of just try to think in your brain and try to give into these thoughts that you're just in this current in the bad states that you're in, that just suppresses your peace even more. You just don't feel good at the end of the day. You just don't feel good because you're
Yeah.
just overwhelmed by all of these thoughts, and it's not ideal to live like that. Now, being self-aware and acknowledging all these things, that's the first step. Second step is actually trying to maintain that, implement that in your life. Sometimes that's hard. It's challenging. Not gonna lie. Sometimes I still challenge with that. And the strategy really here is that I use is try to implement things in my life that I know are good for me, that bring me into this peaceful state, that keep my head clear, the head calm. What that looks like is, I go for walks, clear my head. Whenever I'm driving, I
Yeah.
don't blast music like crazy or blast like really crazy stimulating music. Sometimes I'll just put on some very chill instrumental electronic music and just drive to that. Or I work in a job
Yeah.
that requires me to not be so overwhelmed by people, dealing with people so much.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a privilege that I have, but if you can at least implement that into your life, basically just adjusting your lifestyle to the way that you can get your peace from. I also journal. I write down my thoughts. I write down what's going on in my head. So I don't keep everything just up here. I get it out in a healthy way. So I can see what I'm thinking about and be like, okay, well, yeah, I got that out. Being able to reflect on myself a bit, kind of let things off gently in my head, things that are just in my mind, and just let it go. And those are just having good people in your life too. And I mean, that should be pretty obvious, right? Having good people in your life, good people that
Yeah.
make you feel good, that don't bring you down, that don't make you feel like you're the problem and overwhelmed by so many things, and that make you just drive you crazy because they
Really
disrupt your
crazy. Yeah.
peace. Peace is not something you just get. It's not something that's just handed to you. You gotta earn it. Something's work for
Yeah.
it.
True.
And it can be really hard, challenging, like I said, but once
Yeah.
you can realize that, you worked quite hard for this, and get to this state, you did a lot of mental frameworking,
Yeah.
did a lot of things out, like, externally outside in your life to make sure that things don't go crazy. And not to say that I'll never go crazy. Life is life. Life will just come and go. Your peace will get disturbed again. But the thing here is that you accept that. You can accept that your peace will get disturbed again. Sometimes it's the best way to deal with getting peace. Because if we don't accept the chaos sometimes, I feel like we'll never get peace because sometimes the chaos needs to come first before we can realize that we need to get the peace. So at the end, like I said, you gotta work for your peace. You don't just get it, you gotta earn it. That's all I got for you today.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. You watched the video and you liked the video. Appreciate that. And you give it a like. I'm glad they appreciate that as well. I don't know
Yeah.
why
Drop
I'm
a
always
like.
wearing
Yeah.
a shirt all the time I make these videos. It's just funny. I don't know. I just always wearing a shirt all the time. But, if you want to follow me on my socials, Instagram or TikTok, I got those down there as well.
TikTok.
Check them out and comment down anything that you resonated with in this video or anything that I should talk about they'd like me to discuss. But as always, thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all on the next one.
Wow. Wow. That was You Don't the Peace You Only by Andrew Gowato. I didn't know that. I didn't know you don't the peace. Yes, you own the peace. I didn't know that. Wow. You learn something new every day. Literally. Wow. The link to the video will be the description below. Go and check them out and drop a like if you like and comment down below if you want to see more reaction like this one. And subscribe if you're new and click the bell so you can be notified when I upload in my back. Wow.